Most of us think we know that poem Warning, right? It's that cute, whimsical poem about an old lady who's going to wear a purple coat. But what if I told you that gentle little poem is actually a secret manifesto, a call to arms against a life that's been put on pause? Well, today we're going to peel back the layers and uncover the poem's hidden rebellious heart.
Ah, these lines. We all know them. They just paint this picture of a delightful, totally harmless eccentricity. It's that dream of a future where we can finally just let go, spend our pension on brandy and silly summer gloves, and not care one bit what anyone thinks. It's a comforting idea for sure, but it's only the surface.
And this is where the whole thing gets interesting. Is this poem really just a sweet little daydream about being old and free? Or is it something way more immediate, way more urgent? I mean, is it what the title says it is? An actual warning?
To really get the warning, we have to understand the woman who wrote it, the poet in a corset, so to speak. Her personal context, well, it's the absolute key to unlocking what this poem is really trying to tell us. It all comes from a very specific time and place. So get this. Jenny Joseph wasn't an old woman dreaming of rebellion when she wrote this. No way. She was a 28-year-old woman living in the super stiff, buttoned-up world of post-war Britain. I mean, she was Oxford-educated, a journalist, a pub landlady. This was a person with a massive inner world who felt trapped by the expectation to be proper and quiet and, well, domestic. The poem was born right out of that feeling. And you can see that tension just laid out so clearly. The poem draws this stark line in the sand between the oppressive duties of the present, pay the rent, don't swear, be a good example, and the pure anarchy of the future, running your stick along railings, pressing alarm bells just for fun, and even learning how to spit. It's this epic battle between your sober, responsible self and your wild, authentic self. But here's the thing, this doesn't just work on an emotional level. The poem is almost chemically engineered to feel liberating. It's actually designed to give your brain a literal taste of freedom. So psychologically, what's going on here is that the poem taps directly into what the psychologist Carl Jung called the shadow self. That's all the unconscious, repressed parts of who we are that we hide away to be good. The poem basically unleashes this inner wise crone, and it gives our suppressed wildness a voice. And this is how it actually hacks our minds. It's pretty amazing. First, as you see in step 1, that constant repetition of I shall, gets our brain anticipating a future reward. Then, the list of all these little rule breakings creates this thrilling tension. And then, bam, that violation gets reframed as pure delight, flooding our pleasure circuits with dopamine. It literally gives our brain a blueprint for how to feel that joyful release. All right, this brings us to the poem's final lines. And this is where the entire meaning just pivots. The gentle dream suddenly turns into an urgent, immediate command. But maybe I ought to practice a little now. It's phrased so gently, doesn't it? It's almost timid. But I'm telling you, that is the most explosive line in the entire poem. Yeah, see, that line is not a suggestion. It is the warning. It's the alarm bell ringing, telling all of us that a life of constantly putting things off is a life that's not being lived at all. So let's be really clear here. The poem isn't a celebration of what's to come. It's an indictment of the cowardice of the present. It's a call for an immediate rebellion against what Joseph called the sobriety of youth, that constant pressure we all feel to be responsible and postpone joy for later. And look, I know the poem was written in 1961, but its warning is absolutely timeless. The pressures have just changed their names. You can see it here. Where there was post-war propriety, now we have hustle culture. Rigid domestic roles have been swapped out for performative wellness. And what's the ultimate form of deferred pleasure today? The massive anti-aging industry. The call to resist is exactly the same. And this really gets to the heart of it. The poem is asking us to decolonize aging, to stop seeing it as some decline to be afraid of, and instead to reframe it as an ascent into the final, unfiltered, completely authentic version of yourself. So what does this mean for you, like right now? Well, the poem actually gives us a practical guide. It's not about some grand gesture. It's about small, daily acts of joyful nonconformity. Wear that clashing shirt. Sit down on the pavement if you're tired. For 1 hour, ignore that productivity script and just follow an impulse. It's all about practicing rebellion in tiny, manageable pieces. Which brings us right back to the end. But now, with this new understanding, these lines sound completely different, don't they?
they're not a cute justification anymore. They are a challenge. See, the practice isn't for other people, so they won't be shocked. The practice is for you. So the real question the poem leaves us with is this: are you going to wait until you're suddenly old, or are you going to start to wear your purple now?